Hello and thank you for joining us for the Academy Showcase to round out your Saturday, where Cloud9 Academy and IMTA Academy are facing off. Let's take a look at the starting rosters. Selecting blue side, it's Cloud9 Academy. All the way from Oceania in the top lane, it is Fudge. In the jungle, Inori. Mid laner, Palafox. King in bot. Support is Diamond. And the new coach, actually, it is Rainover.
And over on the red side today, it's going to be Immortals Academy. In the top lane, Alorum. In the jungle, Potluck. Mid laner will be Insanity today. And bot and support going to be Apollo and Gate with Coach Coops.
Now, the Academy Immortal squad, I have to say, pleasantly surprised me with their performance so far, with all its new pickups shining a bit in the start of spring season.
Sorry, I'm just cracking up at the late game pin King from...
Of course.
Because I'm pretty sure he made those for himself.
Yes, 100%.
That is the story that I have heard. And it's a self-proclaimed title. So you gotta love that. But yeah, they've been doing well. Apollo and Alorum have been exceeding expectations. They have really been looking good. You know, Apollo, a guy with so much LCS experience, I think really brings kind of a calm presence to the team. Insanity has really seemed to kind of been benefiting from being, I think, with some of these guys. You know, Apollo, you know, again, working with those veterans, I think really can bring you to that next level. And when you look over at Potluck, it seems like he can be an X factor, but he looked a bit off in his stage loss against Fly Academy, and that's something that, you know, some of these newer players need to kind of get over and really get comfortable playing on stage, which does feel quite different.
But to be honest, neither jungler came into week one looking all that strong. Inori, who has quite a lot of experience on the stage, has not been the superstar jungler that maybe Cloud9 Academy wanted. And to be fair, Cloud9 Academy did have a lot of moving pieces in the top and jungle. Landed on Inori, who was kind of coming back into the scene after showing off at Scouting Grounds and looking pretty good, but he has not been in pro for quite a while. So this is a player that I think is looking to redevelop, kind of bring back form, get that discipline, get that training back in, and ideally be back in the LCS one day.
Yeah, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do it. And I think for some players, you know, and I think Inori may be one of them, it's a bigger adjustment than for others playing in this new season, where especially in pro, you're very frequently quite underleveled compared to the solo laners, right? When I think of Inori's high highs, I think most people do think of the Rengar, right? You know, taking over games, running over, killing all these solo laners by himself. That is not something that is nearly as achievable in Season 10 right now. Now, mind you, that is going to be changing as people are getting an experience buff for the jungle coming in next patch. But, you know, if you are playing that farm-heavy, you know, solo style, taking over a game, you can't really do that anymore. It's much more about spending your time to set up your solo laners for success, your bot lane for success, so that they can carry you through the later stages.
Well, see what happens here in the draft. Elise and Soraka, the bans there from Cloud9. Nice to see Soraka get that attention. Akali and Rumble have been permabanned pretty much since week one, actually, of LCS and Academy. I'll see what the third ban here is for Cloud9. Maybe have a little bit more flexibility here. Look at something like one of the other junglers.
Yeah.
Could take down Senna has been a kind of a popular ban. People
Lucian.
generally... Oh, Lucian, of course, the other one.
Yep, probably going to be one of those, if not both.
Pantheon.
Pantheon taken out. We have seen, you know, 2 to 3 games, Alorum did play Pantheon, so that is more of a target ban there. The Lucian will be taken away. It does mean Set is available, and that's an insta lock there. Interesting if it does go to Fudge, because Fudge has been on Orin duty thus far. He has all 3 Orin games, and, you know, Set is someone, as funny as it sounds like, can kind of play that similar role. You know, it is higher damage, but you are very much playing this kind of frontline role.
Yep.
It's less about the engage, it's more about the brawling and the skirmishing. That is where he has a lot of his power, and the only problem I have with Set as a first pick is that he is largely reliant on his opponents engaging into him and opting into fights with him. And in those cases, he's incredibly powerful. If your opponents are playing something that is more kite heavy, that is, you know, pulling back and disengaging, Set really can struggle, even with an advantage, to make the most of his gold.
Well, there's Lee Sin and Syndra, but a very quick drafting here for Cloud9. Take Aphelios and Nautilus for bot and support pretty quickly there, so I wonder if Apollo wants to take Senna here, if there's a pick with more priority currently for Immortals in this draft.
I think Senna would be dangerous because you did not actually grab your support alongside it. So if you're going to go into Nautilus here, if you pick Senna, Tomkich will get banned out. You know, Braum will get banned out. Some of these defensive picks, maybe Morgana, things like that. So that is why I think, you know, just due to the draft order, they don't actually have the ability to go Senna. So if they wanted to go for it, they would have had to mix things up a little bit, you know, do a different pick order. Instead, they are going to grab Leona. So it is hard engage. Leona, Lee Sin both want to go forward. That speaks to a successful game plan with the set, because that is kind of what he's looking to fight into. Going to be interested to see what they do decide to actually pair alongside this Leona, because Senna is still available, so there is still the option to go this and kind of hope that through this aggressive play, you are going to be able to kind of keep your Senna safe.
Well, Rek'Sai banned there from Immortals, so Inori going to lose a couple picks with Lee Sin already picked up. That is a smart ban away from Immortals. I do appreciate the Urgot ban away from Alorum, though. If we are assuming Set is top lane, I have no idea what that matchup is supposed to be like, but I think Cloud9 don't want to find out, so they will take it away. Olaf also banned away. That's a common thread whenever Rainover's near a team. Olaf tends to get banned a lot.
I mean, these are a couple of the popular picks here for Inori, too. He has played thus far Olaf, Rek'Sai, and one Xin Zhao, right? So Xin is still going to be available if he wants to go that direction, if he does want to have a physical damage jungler. But there is also things like Gragas available, which is going to be really powerful. So, it's not as though Inori is going to be pinched too heavily. I think they're looking more at what is going to be a strong 1v1 matchup against Potluck on this Lee Sin and trying to look to set up him for success. The Ornn going to be banned out there, as that is something that some players do enjoy in the set, just kind of looking to scale. I am actually a really big fan. Is that top lane Nocturne?
That's Nocturne.
Very interesting.
That's Nocturne solo lane, presumably, right?
Yeah, I think it is actually top lane Nocturne. This is
that's true, because Syndra's
really
already
interesting.
picked.
Yeah, you already have Syndra, so I don't think you're going to send Syndra top because you'd be too vulnerable. So it is looking like Nocturne top. One of the things, just immediately, I haven't played this matchup. I'm going to be straight up about that, and I don't think very many people will have. Spell Shield feels like a powerful interaction with Set, because with the Spell Shield, it is very telegraphed that Haymaker, so much of the damage from the Set actually comes from that W, the supercharged W. So being able to have the ability to actually, immune that is going to be a really big deal, kind of similar to why Fiora can work as a matchup where you have the parry for that Haymaker. That could be something pretty beneficial for the Nocturne. You also have to think that, oh wow, this is actually really
wow!
Is this, okay, this is actually Syndra bot.
Yes.
This is Syndra Leona bot. This is Nocturne top and Kled mid. Wow, that is really crazy. There could be some flex around. Kled is actually a great matchup into both the Yasuo as well as the Set. Another reason Kled is great into Set is actually you can use your Joust, the first part of the E, you have 2 activations of it, and then use the second part of that activation to actually joust behind your target, which is always what it will do, and that can be used to avoid that Haymaker. Likewise, on the Yasuo, you do have priority in almost all early all-ins. You can be very aggressive on that Yasuo. Yasuo, kind of has to hold almost your ultimate till you are already dismounted to really have kill threat. If you actually expend your damage, a lot of it is going to get kind of immune by the dismount there, and that can be very powerful. But this is an incredibly aggressive, run-at-you style of composition for Immortals, and I do worry when you are playing that into a Set who is going to be more than willing to stand and receive that damage, to look to really stand and fight you there. But this is really, really exciting for Immortals, and I got to talk to Coops a little bit the other day, and he promised me a crazy draft, an insane draft.
He had delivered.
And I was like, yeah, come on, bro. Every time a pro tells me this, or a coach tells me this, it's like, it's going to be crazy, bro. Just trust me. And then it's like Orange Sejuani, and you're like,
Victor,
come on.
Okay.
This is crazy. This is a really insane draft.
I love it. We've talked a little bit about Alorum and Insanity being players that have often been willing to move outside the box of the meta champions. They also can play the meta ones as well, but they've often reached into different parts of their champ pool. Insanity has loved global, so TF, Karthus, those were picks that he played a lot of. Alorum plays just about whatever he wants. He's played Urgot already in Academy. He's known for his Wukong. So it is fun to see them actually using that part of their player pool, where they're actually saying, you know what, we can take these aggressive champions like Nocturne, like Kled, and just get them in there.
And both these guys are playing champions now with semi-globals, right? I mentioned that Alorum has actually played 2 games of Pantheon. The Pantheon Ultimate functions somewhat similarly to the Nocturne Ultimate, right? It is something that you can actually use to be able to push the wave and then roam somewhere else and try to use that Ultimate to take someone down. You always, if you're looking at this composition as King and Diamond, you're going to be scared of the 5-man bot, right? Because this could be a situation where Kled and Nocturne are rushing Tiamat, just shoving the waves and looking to just run down to that bottom lane where Leona is going to engage, where Lee Sin's going to be flying in. You have Kled Ultimate and Nocturne Ultimate to engage and really dive heavily onto that back line. So I think we're going to have to see some very safe play from them down there. And kind of as a result, King has taken cleanse. He knows he's going to have to play this very, very carefully.
There's a lot of engage, actually, in both these comps.
Incredible.
I like that C9A may have changed its entire roster with the exception of Diamond, and still they're teaching them how to play Gragas and Yasuo, which is what Inori and Palafox have here. But this should be a very high-octane game based on the draft, but we'll see what happens in the actual gameplay itself, as King is going to dance his way towards this tri-bush here in bot lane as they'll spread out across the river.
The other thing is, as a jungler, you're playing this Predator Gragas, early kind of encounters with the Lee Sin are generally going to go heavily in the Lee Sin's favor. And if you do have pushing lanes with the Nocturne and the Kled who have very good wave clear, then that can get even more dangerous, where you're just in a situation where all of a sudden the top lane has been pushed in, Lee Sin is invading you, and Nocturne ult is coming through or Kled ult is coming through to actually start these skirmishes in those jungle corridors. And that's something that you really want to be proactive about when you are playing Kled, when you are playing Nocturne in the solo lanes. Kled mid is a very effective pick, but you have to be proactive with it. You don't want to be sitting and farming against the Yasuo. Every time your ultimate is up, you want to be grouping up with people and looking to force plays, because that really is your biggest strength, and that is really where you get the biggest advantages.
Of note, as Insanity's dancing here in mid, is Ignite versus TP in mid lane. Insanity's actually gone for the global summoner and not the more aggressive Ignite.
Yeah, and as a result, you are going to be kind of down on pressure a little bit in that 1v1, right? You are playing more for that map play, which just lends itself even more towards, five-man bot and making plays around Dragon, and kind of looking for that global play. So we'll see how well he is going to be able to pull this off.
Having a quick check-in on the junglers. Looks like they are starting on the opposite sides of the map. Potluck Blue into Gromp. Gromp, as Kobe mentioned at the top of the day in Countdown, has had some CS some experience already moved into it. So it's important to take. Makes sense that both junglers will start on that side. But don't think we'll see too much action as we check in with top lane. Not a matchup I have much experience with, I'll be honest with you. The newest champion set versus Nocturne solo lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, right? But you can see the idea behind it. See, there it is. Yep. That's the interaction I immediately thought of in champs like I mentioned. You can spell shield that W, and as all the CDR comes through and you're maxing the W actually for Fudge, you are going to have a shorter cooldown, but you're not just going to use this for harassment, because one of the dangers for set is if you actually use your W just for poke, then you can get all in. You don't have one of your best defensive tools. You also have to be worried about post level 3, the fact that if you actually get feared up with your grit fully stacked and you can't even get the W off, you're going to lose that shield. So this is a lot of danger here already.
Yeah, just like this, Alorum is just hitting him down, but Fudge is going to stand and fight. He's going to turn back around, stop punching him. Fudge going to force him away.
I mean, that is kind of the power of set, right? When you get low, every 5% of health that you are missing increases your regen tremendously. So it gets tankier and tankier the lower you get. It's an additional 0.25% health regeneration every 5% of health that's missing. So if you actually are really low on health there, it starts to become ridiculous. Oh, that was actually an important Q. If you hit that Q, that could have been a flash forward.
Good start to the trade there for Insanity using the Joust. As Palafox couldn't quite return Steel Tempest for himself, but as you mentioned, that missing Bear Trap does mean that Yasuo is safe for now. But Potluck, here he comes. It's actually 2v2 right now. Nice and early. That one's going to land. Palafox dashes away, chasing down. Here's Inori. Going to try and save his mid laner. They flash over. Windwall's not good enough, and that's first blood for Insanity. In fact, Inori may be going down as well. They will die. They've got the Kled. They pull him back. The dismount happens, but not enough to finish off the job.
Yeah, not enough to finish off the job, but they just killed off the Ignite mid laner and got flashes there, so you're going to be feeling really good about this. Insanity can base and just TP back. Inori has got to try to push this wave in, see if he can actually interrupt the recall, but here this is one more time. Potluck is actually down a level on Inori, but this is a great joust forward, able to actually connect the Bear Trap on a rope there. Palafox unable to windwall it. Not sure if he didn't have that available. He actually Windwall just using it there. Not sure if it was off cooldown or not. But really, an incredible start there for the mid lane.
They're at it again. Fudge, though, I think may have got the upper hand.
Yeah.
Everyone's holding their flash and their breath.
I mean, that's the trouble with Set. Like, he has such incredible base stats that even though Alorum is actually able to spell shield the W, land this spear, it's so hard to actually kill off Set. When he gets low, he gets so damn tanky with Conqueror stacked, with the Haymaker coming out, you really do start to kind of beat down your opponent with these trades.
I know you've mentioned this a lot, but Set really does is best when people are trying to fight him.
Yeah.
Nocturne can only opt into fights if he wants to try and trade this set at all. And you've kind of seen Alorum. It looks like things are going well when he starts off the fight. But as soon as it keeps going, Fudge just gets stronger and stronger. At least Alorum can just walk away. Again, Set can't really go back, especially without his ulti.
And that being said, he is rushing the Tiamat as I expected. So I think it's going to be largely about just rushing the push on the wave. It does have to be careful, though.
It's really fun to watch two melee top laners just beat each other up, though. Fear lands there, but bottom lane, they've set the trap. There's the stun combo with the Leona and the Syndra, and Diamond is gone. It's Gates Ignite that picks up the kill. King gonna turn it back around, but can't eat too many Dark Spheres. Oh, gets stunned. I think King may have gone a little too far forward. Gonna try and hold on to his flash, but uses it late and is punished by Gaze.
Yeah, he sat the entire stun with Cleanse available. I'm not sure if that was just underestimating the damage or forgetting that he had it. Nice.
Showstopper! Alorum may gonna have to use the flash here, but gonna be careful. Gonna juke it out. Does take some damage from the Haymaker, but no kill confirmed for Fudge.
We'll just be able to walk it out. So here this is one more time. It's so much patience on this. I'm not actually sure how they snuck into this brush because there was a ward in the further back one. Maybe this is something where they just pushed it in and then backed up and didn't get spotted. Yeah, Cleanse was available this whole time. King with a really nice return trade, but once the cooldowns came back up, Gate goes right back in, lands the full stun. He decides to sit it, then flashes so late, he's already taken pretty much his entire life bar, so King giving away a bit of a rough one there.
Yeah, need to make either decision. I'm dead, don't use my summoners, I need to use them now or I'll die. And I think King, just misjudging the situation, does get punished well by Apollo and Gate.
And now you're in that tough position where you're flashless against a Leona, and Leona should hit 6 before your flash comes back up, and that's always very, very scary. Potluck on this Dragon. Infernal going to be a nice one for them. Mind you, it is a lot weaker than the one individual Dragon was last season. 10% ADAP in Season 9, only 4 for an individual Dragon in Season 10, so giving over those individual Dragons not nearly as big of a deal.
Ocean will be the next one, though. So Cloud or Mountain Salt due for this game, but we'll get there when we get there. IMTA, they're still happy to take the first Drake off the board. Rift Herald is going to be spawning in a few minutes, so we're not there just yet. Face Breaker onto Alorum, though. Fudge does not have his ulti back up.
Look down to the bot lane, though. They're looking for a roam here. Cled's probably going to go for bot.
And Ori also roaming up. They might be able to get something happening, but King is going to be the target. No flash, no hope. Potluck going to take him down.
Yeah, that is a great roam, and this mid lane advantage is becoming huge. Heavily ahead in the farm, has priority as a result of that earlier fight, and is able to use that to just group up. Ultimate available, group up with Potluck, charge on down. King was down that summoner from the previous fight, and that's an easy kill to grab for Insanity.
Really nice punish there from Immortals. And unfortunately for C9, do not get the kill on top lane, despite Inori going there for it. But again, over the top we go, and this is just so easy. Just cuts him off completely.
Yeah, no way out whatsoever. Are able to just clean that one up. And that's just really well done. That's what you want to see, the proactivity. Alorum does have his ult available now too. They're actually moving their bot lane top, which usually signifies they want to try to play for the Rift Herald. And we'll see if Alorum is able to push out bot lane and roam up to try to make use of that Nocturne ultimate, because the trades, while they start off well, don't seem to really be going in his favor. So I want to see him getting out on the map and not just chilling and farming against his set.
Yeah, 1v1, not the territorial Alorum. Going to be finding his success on, it feels like. Certainly a level disadvantage, so King and Diamond both down 1 level their respective opponents. Actually double ulti here for Gate and Apollo. They might just go for this.
Exactly.
Diamond no flash either.
It's not just 1 level, it's the most important level.
Yeah.
Do you have ultimate or not, right? And as you said, King doesn't have flash. That was always going to be the case. And with Potluck up here, you could look to try to make some sort of a play. They don't know where Gragas is. Once they get eyes on Inori, there's more potential. But Inori now 6 here too. They have the Gragas Yasuo combo, and I think that they're going to have to try to get something out of that to really be able to claw their way back in, as Potluck will get spotted.
Yeah, they're trying to sneak it, but quickly leaves the area, so expecting the collapse, as Palafox did have priority in the mid lane. Alorum has been left in the bot lane as a result. Fudge did roam up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was worried about a potential all-in fight around that Rift Herald. Potluck right back on it, though. You see Fudge down on that bot side, so Potluck's just going to start this back up. His bot lane is up on the top side, pushing in. They're going to roam over to help. Insanity has mid lane priority. Remember, this is the double Tiamat I talked about in the draft that they're going to be able to look for to have that lane priority, to be able to make plays around the objectives. And once again, they're getting that.
Nice from Fudge there to use the Haymaker before he got feared, but again, doesn't seem like either champion is making much ground in the other health bar. And I think Alorum has learned at this point that extending fights against Set isn't very fun. So it's just trying to push the wave out. And again, make use of the other semi-global you mentioned. Get that Nocturne ulti out somewhere else other than his own lane.
Yeah, and thus far he hasn't been able to, but Insanity going to spot Palafox here. This is something they could look for. He's going to be behind him here, and Yasuo could be caught out.
Here we go again. Palafox the target. Good flash, over the top we go! And they're going to get the combo going. Insanity, though, not that... Oh, now in trouble, perhaps. Does avoid the knock-up, I believe, from Nautilus, thanks to dismounting, but he's over the wall. Does not have his flash. Good stun plus slow, but the flash in for it. King with the ulti, able to seal the deal.
Yeah, dismounted with no summoner. That's problematic.
Oh! Scares him away. Flash safeguard. Facebreaker, very nicely done. Kick there from Potluck, and Fudge says, fine. I'll get you next time.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to blow the kick, you could probably just walk past him and kick him away. I'm not sure if Insanity would have been able to get out if he actually pathed to the right, but he kind of pathed closer to most of that C9 squad. But it is really difficult to escape. When you're dismounted without sums, unless you can kind of hop over a wall to escape, your movement speed is so slow when you're moving away from enemies. You get bonus movement speed toward enemies, but you're just kind of like waddling away very, very slowly. It's a sad state of affairs for Kled without Skarl.
Certainly is. The nice counterplay there from C9, just absorbing the engagement. Able to get a kill for themselves on the back end of the play. Drake up in 25 seconds. Potluck already doing his research here, taking down that Scuttle Crab for the speed shrine.
Yeah, and they're setting up a potential dive on this bot side, right? You know, you can see Kled is moving down on the map. You know, was kind of roaming over in that area. They're going to drop the Herald. They're going to look to crack first turret here before plates do fall. And it should be theirs. They have Demolish as well.
They got it.
Yeah, that's an easy first turret. A lot of gold's going to be put in their pockets. Immortals are 4,000 gold ahead. That is actually pretty insane. When you feel like this game has been fairly back and forth. Cloud9, you know, did get the advantage in that last fight, but you know, farm going their way, the tower now going their way, more kills going their way. Immortals really are in a dominating position and kind of have everything they need to look to snowball this.
Yeah, Cloud9 just going to have to keep absorbing some of this pressure, but it's not going to stop. Top lane should be fine. No one's behind Alorum. The Drake over to IMT as the rest will stick on the bottom side of the map. Alorum apparently wants to fight Fudge, and Fudge says again, you want to come into the pit? I'll fight you. Alorum says, no, I don't. I take it back. Oh, he's got an ulti back. Now he's the showstopper again. Fudge continues to fight. Now he's going to chase back in Alorum. This just feels so scary. The fear is down. Fudge forced to use the shield. Alorum can't make it back in.
Yeah, so he didn't have spell shield back up when the Haymaker came back up, so he felt like he couldn't actually continue. If you go back in for that and you can't burst him down right away, he's going to regen back up. Alorum, though, may face check here. He's in trouble.
Point and click. Don't even need it. Inori going to get the dunk. Nice run there from Cloud9 Academy.
Yeah, going to be able to punish Alorum there. Back and forth fight. Very close from Fudge, but Alorum just does not seem to have the lethal damage with this Nocturne. You know, I really do strongly feel he needs to be making map plays, and he hasn't thus far. It has just been sitting in this lane, fighting back and forth with Fudge. Fudge is going to be really happy about that. You know, if you come to the 5v5 stage at 20-25 minutes and Set is getting pretty tanky and Set is actually just absorbing these Nocturne ults and these engagements that are coming inevitably from Kled too, he's going to be more useful probably than the Nocturne.
Looks like Triforce also coming up for Fudge as well, so very offensive Set this go round.
Yeah, I think this is by far the best build personally. I think it's much better than Black Cleaver. Attack speed is actually very important to get the most out of your passive. You know, the 1-2 combo.
Oh, that Fudge.
yeah. Which of the many parts? You know, it can make it really, really effective. And because he is a bit of a spell weaver, you get a lot out of the Sheen too. And you know, I really do like the Triforce into Titanic build because you can get very powerful combos, right? You do the 1-2, and then your Q resets that. You know, you're actually utilizing that after the fast punch to circumvent that slow windup of the left, and then you can do that again with the Titanic after your second 1-2 with that Q. So you can actually get 6 hits out very, very quickly like that with that combo, and you're already a devastating turret taker. With Triforce, that becomes even better with the attack speed as well as that.
I like it. Punch Weaver set. As Fudge, good face breaker. Right onto Alorum. Again, just trading some CDs back and forth. But as we've learned, Spell Shield cooldown a lot longer than the Haymaker cooldown at this stage.
And you don't max it. That's part of the problem too, right? You know, the cooldown is going down and down and down on this W as he picks up more CDR.
I don't know if C9A want to commit. They will go into Potluck. Palafox in range. Gets the ulti down. What a great dunk as Palafox able to take down Potluck. They do lose their tower in the top side.
Yep, they do lose the tower, but going to be happy to take that kill.
Cloud9 starting to fight back on the top side of the map because it did feel like the 1v1 from the top laners was either even or Fudge was actually, I think, confident enough to play forward and pressure there as well. It was, you know, this cleared pressure, the 4v4 that Cloud9 Academy was struggling in a little bit with. But after that attempt in the jungle didn't quite go their way, Cloud9 Academy able to move back out now and apply more pressure to these other sections of the map. And it's kind of clawing that gold lead back. It's still about 2,500 up for IMT. They still have those 2 Drakes. They're certainly ahead, but Cloud9 Academy seem to be stabilizing here in the mid-game.
Yeah, they really do. You know, I'm liking Cloud9's position more and more as the game does progress. Immortals have lots of ways to close out this game, especially if they grab that 3rd dragon coming up. They're going to be very, very close to Soul with so many opportunities to get it. He's going to be feeling pretty happy about that, but you know, every minute that goes by where there's no Kled ult, where there's no Nocturne ult, the Yasuo is farming, the set is farming, and they are feeling, I think, pretty confident about the potential 5v5 there. The one kind of wrinkle to that is it will be really tough for King to stay alive, right? You know, if we have Inori and Palafox and Diamond diving forward, well, who is going to protect King, right? So they may have to play it a little bit more slowly because if Nocturne is ulting onto the back line, if Insanity is Kled ulting onto the back line and King dies instantly, the fights become very, very difficult.
I'm also just trying to... Oh, never mind. I figured it out. I was like looking at the top lane CS and checking the goal, and I'm like, oh, Fudge is a little bit ahead. I was trying to see if he had his Trinity Force yet, and for some reason, I read the 3 in Alorum's CS as a 7, and I was like, how did that happen? And why is he behind in gold? Thankfully, they're even. Fudge will be at Trinity Force fairly soon. Alorum actually already has an Umbral Glaive, which is the blackout part of the Duskblade of Drakthar from last year. So again, kind of emphasizing wanting to move around the map, clear out vision, and get the ulti somewhere else other than the set 1v1. He's actually 2 levels down right now.
Yeah, my guess is he's pretty close to 11. You know, I can't imagine he's that far down. As there you go, right to 11. So, but still, over a full level down. You know, that is a little bit concerning. The Umbral Glaive is really nice, and not only because it detects the wards, but because it allows you to one-hit them. So, you know, moving around, you know, cutting out as much vision as possible, that's going to be important because it's about to be engaged.
Credited in, there's the stopwatch going, but Alorum is first to the play. Kled ulti also going to mean Inori. She's going to get cut to shreds, but a big ulti out of King is going to maybe turn the fight back around. Fudge is in there, the rest of the team is there, and they're diving in. Set, Yasuo, everybody enjoying the party. Under the tower we go. Palafox keeps chasing him down as Fudge tanks it to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, Immortals really botched that one. The Nocturne ulti was spent on Set. I mean, that is not the target you want. Probably actually the worst target to go for there if you're going to actually spend all of your ultimates engaging into their front line. C9 will absolutely devastate you. Fudge not really in threat of going down there whatsoever. And not only did Immortals really lose that fight, it cost them most of their summoners and their ultimates. So look at this engage one more time. You know, here they go, Inori moving forward. They start off on Inori. The ultimate from Nocturne actually goes straight on the set. Kled goes forward, but it hits the Nautilus. They're not touching King whatsoever. Then Potluck goes in for the kick flash, but the fight is already lost. There's no follow-up there whatsoever. So Potluck expends that cooldown, expends his summoner, but Insanity is out of there, Alorum is out of there, and there was just a very poorly coordinated fight from Immortals with a composition that you have got to be on point with. This is really difficult to execute, and everyone has to be on the same page, immediately onto a carry, immediately burst down a carry. The start of that fight, it was already over.
And credit to Fudge there for the individual contribution. He showstoppered a frontliner into a backliner, and then face broke them together. I was looking, I was trying to figure out what happened. I assumed Gragas and Yasuo were involved somehow, but Fudge really ended that fight quickly once he made it into the fight. Well done for Cloud9.
He really did, and you can see that even some of the side lane advantages are going to be completely gone, right? You know, Kled is such a great early game matchup into the Yasuo, but Yasuo is closing in on the IE, and that is going to be kind of no more fun for Kled in that 1v1. When you are falling behind the pace like that, Yasuo really can just start to outscale you in that side lane, and when you hit the 100% crit mark, it gets really, really tough to actually outduel this champion unless you're very far ahead.
But we were at about 4,000 gold ahead at one point. It's gone to 2,500. It's sunk now to about 1,500.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just sitting in the turrets that Cloud9 Academy don't have yet.
Yeah, and, they're going to actually go again here. They're engaging on Nautilus, though.
Oh, he does. I take it back. He's got a self-push. Time going to try and live. Gets the hook out of there. Leona ulti going to clip him. King No with the return ulti. They go back in. Inori has that kill. King far forward, gets scattered the wing. And the damage is too much on the front side. Cloud9 Academy not there as it's 3 quick kills for Immortals.
Yeah, that was a huge flank there. Insanity flying in from the side. King just got completely pinched. They needed to continue actually kiting back to their tier 2. But the Kled gets in behind them. King not able to get his flash off. And it looked like it was going to be a great fight for Cloud9 initially, that they were going to be able to actually deflect most of that damage. But Immortals find a really good fight there. And that is the kind of look that they really are going to need to go forward through in this game.
Fudge using his TP there as well. Watch it again. Diamond not that tanky, so not a bad idea to start this.
Yeah, and it's mostly about the fact that both the solo laners are out in the side lanes. They have vision on them. They know teleport is available on set. They know Kled can get here faster. But you can see that Cloud9 started to feel confident in this fight, started to think that they were actually winning it, and they were with the members that were there. But they lost track of the fact that the Kled was coming. If they continued to kite back to their tier 2, they could have actually absorbed and likely survived most of that fight, especially because the flash was there for King. Instead, they get a little bit overconfident. They do get taken out, and they lose the tier 2.
I think King also had both short-range weapons, so kind of had to be far forward, which not ideal.
Run away.
Still gonna run away. Can agree with that, but instead they go forward. King can see the kill in front of him to snowball the fight, and Insanity says, nope, I'm here first. The Immortals continuing to stay ahead in this game. Drake up in a minute 30. This is one Cloud9 will probably be more interested in taking away.
Yeah, it is worth noting that in a previous replay, that Mountain Dragon third one did go to C9, so they kind of delayed that immediate snowball of the straight 4 Dragon soul for Immortals. So they have been pushed back, and it kind of makes this next one even more important, as I do think Immortals is going to be worried about the potential scaling here on the side of C9, as you know, if you really start to heavily lose control in the side lanes, it can get difficult to actually, you know, make these plays happen without it just being too obvious.
Kind of splitting the map here as well, objective-wise. Cloud9 have taken control of the left-hand side. Palafox also does have Infinity Edge now finished, so he's ready to go as far as the next fight goes.
Yeah, he's going to be very, very strong. But he doesn't have teleport, so he does have to be a little bit wary about, you know, the team collapsing and actually making a play while he is out in that side lane. And it is the extra couple teleports actually for Immortals, right? They have 3 TPs to just the 1, which is actually on cooldown here for Fudge. So for Immortals, it's going to be about playing the map. It's going to be about pushing side lanes and then collapsing and actually forcing plays where they have a number advantage.
They certainly have so much more space to play with as well. It's still, again, 0 turrets for Cloud9, which is not only just what a lot of gold lead is sitting in right now, but just it's so much harder to get to these objectives fairly when you don't have room to push lanes out to force people to go to other places. So Cloud9 Academy kind of forced to just do this, like get themselves brute force onto an objective and take a fight, because they're going to start this Drake. A fight will be happening.
Yeah, and at the very least, they want to get a teleport from Kled, which is coming through, but they're just going to try to rush this. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, they pull off slowly. I guess they're waiting at the Nocturne ulti, but not going to have the trigger pull just yet. Leona ult not bad, but here comes the flank again from Insanity. Onto King they go. Facebreaker is down. Drake gets stolen by Alorum of all people, and the fight does continue. Apollo finds stun on the back end. That's going to be a kill onto the top side as Fudge and Inori do fall. Now Cloud9 have to keep fighting, but they've got absolutely 0 chance. Immortals going to find the Drake and the ace as Insanity nabs the triple.
Yeah, Insanity came up so big for Immortals in that fight, and they're going to be able to grab the Baron off of this as well. Immortals taking full control here, as again, Cloud9, you know, to miss execution in these fights, going back and forth, they're not able to get the clean engages that they do want. Their Dragon Scale combo was spent onto Syndra, the Apollo wasn't there, and Apollo has an early Zonius to actually buy so much of the time there, and once again, it looked like King sat a fully on a stun without actually cleansing and pretty much just died in it. He feels like he's very uncomfortable playing with this summoner.
I mean, Sanity's flank, as you mentioned, also looking pretty good. I mean, Aphelios just doesn't have much mobility, so it's so tough to combat something like this.
But the start of the fight looked great, right? You know, they're actually able to wait out the entire Nocturne ultimate. Then you look for this Inori ult. Great, hits multiple members. The ult is used over on a Syndra. And look at how much time Kled is able to buy. Stopwatch immediately used on King. He does stay very healthy here, but it's able to be a 1v3 kill essentially for Insanity, and then a lot of damage coming out from King. It feels like maybe they can turn it around. Gate flashes forward, does actually land the Q onto King, which again, he sits full, does not cleanse, then flashes afterwards. When he's already been hit by Potluck's Q, he gets taken down, and you've just gotta be more on point with those cleanses, and King has not been able to do it at all today.
Yeah, it's been rough for Immortals. Looking good so far. Now 7,000 gold ahead with the Baron freshly taken. So very firmly in the lead as Palafox is finally going to give Cloud9 Academy their first turret of the game. But it is little good news right now as they're starting to lose the rest of their base.
Yeah, and it feels like Immortals have really done everything they need to do. These last couple decisive team fight wins, despite the fact they had one botched engage, around the river, they have been great about forcing fights, about not being dissuaded by the fact they made a mistake here, made a mistake there, and they're in a position to really close out this game. They're one dragon from Seoul, they're massively ahead as far as the gold lead goes, and they have the Baron buff, so they're going to be pressuring these turrets.
Also not quite up to item number 2. He's got a little over 1,000 gold in the bank, so I think he's ready to buy the Infinity Edge. Just has to find some time where he's not getting pushed in by Baron minions.
Does go back and grabs it now. We'll see where he wants to go next as far as the itemization. Maybe want to go a little bit defensive. Normally you would see something like a Hurricane, but there's so much dive, perhaps he could go to a Phantom Dancer if he's a bit more nervous about that. One of the things, though, working for Cloud9 is the siege, really bad for Immortals. They pretty much have to kill you to actually take your turret. It's a bunch of melee champions and a Syndra who doesn't actually just want to walk up and start autoing the turret with no flash. So, they're trying to push in multiple lanes, but Cloud9 doing a pretty good job of actually clearing out those waves and trying to delay. We'll see if Immortals finds the opportunity or really wants to try to dive deep here, because it is risky, right? And they can just play for Soul, so we might see them just play a little bit more passively and wait for that.
Yeah, it's a good note actually. Minute 35 till that next Drake is up. And having the Drake stolen by Alorum in a very scrappy fight in the Drake pit means that Immortals also have something they can easily back off to and threaten if the siege doesn't work out exactly how they want. But doing a nice job just splitting mid and bot here. Alorum up the top side can join at any time with his ultimate. That's a more than coverable Nocturne distance at this stage of the game. And the siege is slow, but it is getting somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just the cannon. The siege cannon
all you need
is getting some done, but
that's the 80 carry.
So,
oh no. Ooh, they get 2-man knockup followed by a 3. No ulti though by Yasuo. They're just going to keep chasing down Alorum there. Ulti out, Moonlight Vigil, but it's getting a little messy. Apollo just not dying fast enough. Fudge in the backline finally, but this can't do anything else as King has built up a lot of boomerangs. But they're gliding back towards the tower. They just don't seem to have the resource, and Immortals just dive straight in there. Diamond gonna be the one to finally fall, as Immortals will end the game as Cloud9 Academy just can't find that final fight.
Yeah, Immortals just too far ahead at this point. They're gonna close this one out with what was such a fun composition to watch. Absolutely cool to see this coming out and to see it be so successful.
Late game King not needed this time around. Under 30 minutes, Immortals and a very cool comp are going to close out their 3rd win of the Academy 2020 season.
And it always feels so good when you can bring out a unique composition like that, unique picks like that, and be able to get the win. Not only do your opponents now have to be kind of nervous about that and potentially throw bans that way, it's another thing, that you're going to be able to kind of get an edge with if the comp suits it.
And I like, I mean, it's funny that I mentioned, hey, Insanity, doesn't usually play these champions. He's more of a global guy. And then immediately, wait, there are 2 globals in these aggressive 80 solo laners. And I think Alorum, just based on the nature of the matchup, Fudge was not leaving him alone in the 1v1. We didn't see as many double ultis, but Insanity's ults felt extremely impactful throughout this game.
Yeah, it really did. And I think Insanity, was key. That big fight around mid lane where he gets the flank, where he's seen overextended a little bit, and they're able to punish. It looked really damn good for them. And you have to say, despite the fact that that one fight went very poorly for them around the river and felt like, hey, maybe this can be a turning point, the fights that they did win were so decisive that they got so much off them, created enormous leads where they're able to just wipe the opponents off the map, get more off of it. It's a kill into a Baron, it's a kill into a tower, it's kills into Dragon. And Immortals really did do a good job of snowballing and not being dissuaded by the fact they had 1 or 2 bad fights.
And again, I think as cool as Kled and Nocturne are, and they certainly are. Apollo on Mages in bot lane, continuing to be a strength for him, apparently. He was known for his Ziggs in the LCS. Looking pretty good on the Cinder as well. But enough from us. Let's send it down to Ovally for an interview with the Immortals top laner.
Thanks, guys. Alorum, congratulations on the win, but I want to talk about you and your task for today because you had to battle Big Boss Set in the top lane, and I'm going to be honest, it didn't look too fun, so you tell me about that experience.
Honestly, I had very little practice on Nocturne, but I played it in solo queue, and I got destroyed. So I tried it again just to see if it would work again here on stage. You know, a little risk, a little reward. But the main reason we did it wasn't for the matchup, I'd say, as much as it was our comp. We have the Kled. We're just diving. We want to get in there as much as we could. So it's Nocturne. I'm shutting off the lights. They can't see. And we're just going to do what we can to fight. That being said, I'm not very confident about Nocturne in the set as the matchup itself.
Yeah, well, I like everything that you said you did. And you know what? It worked out for Immortals, a 2-0 weekend for you. I really want to know what allows this team to work so well together and really find those results.
Well, honestly, this is one of the few teams where everybody on the team is just, we're chilling. Like, we can be losing, and we're laughing. We're making jokes, and we can be FF15, and we're just going after the game. We're flaming each other, giving each other a hard time. Like yesterday when Potluck's missing all his smites, first thing I'm thinking of is, how can I make this a meme? How can I make fun of this guy? We're just always at each other's throats in a joking way. And it's honestly, it's really a great relationship. I love this team. I love the boys. Anything for the boys.
Honestly, after listening to you talk, I feel like I should be an Immortals Academy fan now. Who would you really want to hype up on your team right now?
I'm gonna hype up my boy Potluck. He's been AFK from the scene for like a year now. He was doing his little thing coaching on Golden Guardians, and he's coming back and he's playing really well. Like, he's doing a great job, and I think it's surprising to a lot of people because he had such a bad rep from his first couple splits on Golden Guardians. They were 10th place, I think, both times, or maybe 10th and 9th. And so I think he's got a lot to prove, and so he's really playing well, and he's gonna help us get to that top spot.
And I'm sure fans want to see you guys go all the way, but this week, great start to it. You just took down Cloud9. That's one of the strongest teams in Academy. So who's your biggest threat next?
I think, no question, a lot of Academy teams have their eyes on Dignitas. They've got the players with the experience. They've got good hands. You know, they're good at pressing their keys on the keyboard. I think everybody would say them. They've just got so many veteran players, and they're a really tough team to beat.
Definitely a tough team, but I think you guys can take them on. Alorum, thank you, and once again, congratulations. That's it for us here on the stage. Back to you guys at the desk.
Oh, Alorum, he's so precious. Every interview with him is like that, by the way.
They got the hands, they can press the keys.
I mean, look, he's not wrong. As we wrap up the day, let's see how the teams stack up. Take a look at the standings. Dignitas still up top, as Alorum was alluding to, but Immortals now in second after 3-1. Cloud9 getting kicked to the middle of the pack now at 2-2, with Liquid and CLG still on the hunt for their first few wins.
Yeah, it has been an exciting season thus far, and I do think if there is a way to take down a big favorite, sometimes it is mixing it up, being surprising in draft. And Immortals has shown the ability to do that. So, maybe they can catch Dignitas a little bit off guard with some of these creative picks.
So let's take a look at what games we have coming up tomorrow. We start the day with Team Liquid versus an undefeated FlyQuest. Then 100 Thieves face off against Cloud9 in Game 3. At the end of the day, 100 Thieves Academy will take to the stage to face off against Team Liquid.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Really looking forward, I think, to see if TL can start to bounce back. FlyQuest had a great start to the season last week, so a lot of people have their eyes on them. And I think they've got a lot to prove.
Well, if you need more league action, stay tuned for the LEC rebroadcast going live right after the show. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow from all the LCS. Good night.